everyone, it's me, Miss Branch, the art teacher, and we're here with part 2 of lesson 2. We were learning how to make a Shape-Gator, and in our first part, we learned about rectangles and triangles. We took a green rectangle and made smaller rectangles. We also took rectangles and turned them into triangles for the teeth, the head, the tail, and the claws. Now, today's lesson, we're going to put some details on the top part using squares and circles. And right now, in your supplies, you had some strips of black and white, and you get to choose which one you want to use, what color. And we're going to turn those into squares and circles. Now, normally, when I teach this in elementary school, I have the kids make their eyes out of the squares and circles too. So you can too. But since we already had wiggly eyes, I thought it would be fun to add wiggly eyes to this project. So you can also get your bag of wiggly eyes from the earlier projects if you have any left at this point, because you might have used all your eyes on your lion monsters. I hope you didn't, because that would be 125 eyes that was in that bag. That'd be a whole lot. So anyway, let me change my camera so we can get started. All right, I'm put this over here and change my camera. All right, so I have my Shape-Gator and he's on his stomach right now. Well, you know, that was the bottom side. That's the side we worked on last week or the other day when we were in the project. So now we have our square, our rectangles, really skinny rectangles. And we're going to turn these into squares and circles to put on our Shape-Gator. And we can get our wiggly eyes out of our baggie and add those too while we're on this part. So I'm going to move my Shape-Gator out of the way. And I think I'll start with the white strip because I did white on that one, but we could do black or white. And I think we might only need one strip, but if you want to add more, you definitely can. And I can show you how to make smaller ones. I'm sorry, I'm just peeling at some glue that I see that's on my table. All right, so let me bring my camera closer so you guys will know what to do. All right, so now we're going to take our strip and we're going to fold it in half. By folding this strip in half, I made the rectangle smaller. It's still a rectangle because I have two short ends and two long ends. And then I'm gonna fold that in half again. Excuse me, Miss Branch. And the rectangle got smaller. And it's still a rectangle because it has two long sides and two short sides. And I'm gonna fold it one more time. But now I have a square. It's a square because all the sides are the same size now. And so you can turn rectangles into squares. And by folding this, I actually made 8 little squares. There we go. Now you can see them. I bent all the lines. Now we're going to cut these squares apart. So I have my scissors and I'm going to cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm gonna move these two off to the sides. Now I have a square and I can just put the squares on my Shape-Gator. I think I'll put 4 and I'll do an interesting pattern with my squares up, down, and then I can go down. So I'm gonna put those off to the side. Well, you know what? I could just go ahead and glue them down. I'm gonna go ahead and glue them down. Now, if you have your glue, remember, our liquid glue is not a lot, just a dot. A dab of glue will do. And rub a little bit and it sticks. So watch, I'm gonna take my square And I'm going to put one tiny drop. I'm gonna put that in the camera so you guys can see that. Can you see that little tiny drop? And what I'm going to do is rub a little bit and it sticks. See, it doesn't fall off. But if I used a lot of glue, it would have slid off because it would have been too much glue and it would have wet the paper. So I'm going to do another one. Again, another little teeny dot. Just a little teeny dot. You know what? I guess I could put 1, 2. Okay, so 1. So I'm going to do square, circle, square, oh no, circle, square. So this will go here. I'm going to make a pattern. And then this one will be, so this is a square down here. So then this square has to go up here. So now, again, one little dot. And we got a cool project that we're going to do with our squares later, with patterns later. And I'm going to put this one right here in the middle of the tail. All right. So now I have these remaining squares and I'm going to turn them into circles. And there's a lot of little steps we got to do to turn these into circles. And while we're turning these into circles, we're going to turn these squares into other shapes first. So first things first, we're going to need our scissors and I'm just going to cut off this corner like that. So guess what? It's not a square anymore. Looks like a diamond. It has 5 sides now. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This shape is now called a pentagon. You see pentagons on soccer balls, the little black pentagon shapes on the soccer balls. And right now, it's turned this way. It looks like Superman's chest plate design on his outfit. And if I put it on my finger like this, it could look like a big giant diamond ring. But this shape right now is a pentagon because it has 5 sides. Penta means 5. I'm going to cut this other corner over here. And now it's not a pentagon anymore. It is now a hexagon. It is a hexagon because it has 6 sides. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 straight sides make it a hexagon. And now guess what? Hexagons are on soccer balls too, but the hexagons that you see on soccer balls are more like a big jewel shape. They don't look like little houses like this one does. Anyway, I'm going to turn and I'm going to cut off another corner. And now I have a heptagon. A heptagon is a 7-sided object with a shape with 7 straight sides. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is called a heptagon. Let's see. Oh, I know what's heptagon shape. The little those little containers that your grandparents have to put their medicine in. I know those because they have 7 days in a week. They make those heptagon shape. All right, so now I'm gonna cut off the last one. And now I have an octagon. And we know street signs, are stop signs are shaped like octagons. And octagons have 8 sides. So watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that is so cool. We now have an octagon, but we still don't have a circle. And that's what we were going for. Now, this octagon also has 8 tiny corners. And to turn this into a circle, we're going to have to take tiny cuts and cut off each of these corners. Now, I'm going to get really close to the camera, make sure that you guys can see. I'm going to take a little, make sure it's not blurry. I'm not too close. Little tiny cut 1. Little itty bitty tiny cut 2. Little itty bitty tiny cut 3. A little itty bitty tiny cut 4, little itty bitty tiny cut 5, little itty bitty tiny cut 6, little itty bitty cut 7, and little itty bitty tiny cut 8. and I turn that octagon into a circle. Watch me do that again. First, I cut off one corner, pentagon, 5 sides, cut off another corner, hexagon, 6 sides, cut off another corner, heptagon, 7 sides, cut off the last corner, octagon, 8 sides. Then I have to cut off each of these little 8 corners, and they're little teeny corners. 1, little itty bitty teeny corner. 2, itty bitty teeny tiny corner. 3, teeny tiny corner. 4, itsy bitsy teeny weeny. 5, super tiny. 6, my voice is that's starting to hurt my voice talk like that. Okay, tiny cut 7 and tiny cut 8, and now I have another circle. I'm gonna put that, let me bring this over so you can see where I'm sticking them. I'm sticking them in the blank spaces, which I'm gonna go back and glue. So now I'm gonna do that again. Oh, let me show you a quick cool trick. I can take these 2 squares and I can abracadabra and make it look like 1. And then I can cut them at the same time. So 1 corner pentagon, 2 corner hexagon, 6 sides, 3 corners heptagon, 7 sides, and 4 corners octagon. And then abracadabra, I have 2 octagons. And now I'm going to nibble. I'm going to just nibble those separately. Tiny 1, tiny 2, tiny 3. Now notice how I'm not trying to cut with the tip of the scissors. You would have a lot of trouble trying to cut. So I open the scissors and I cut on the sides. And I call my scissors scissor gators because what you saw in the story in the pre-video. And now I have another circle because like an alligator, you won't stick your hands in an alligator's mouth. You definitely don't stick your fingers in the scissors mouth. And scissors mouth and alligator's mouth are shaped the same. Plus, they're both sharp. So tiny cut 1, tiny cut 2, tiny cut 3, tiny cut 4, tiny cut 5, tiny cut 6, tiny cut 7, tiny cut 8, and I have another circle. And I can put them on my Shape-Gator for decoration. And you know what? My legs are long enough. You have more strips. If you want to cut some more squares and circles and put some details, some decorations on your Shape-Gator, you certainly can. If not, I gave you extra strips just in case you messed up on your first one. You can always stick these in your scrap bag and use them for a project that we have later. But it's totally up to you. I'm going to go ahead and put these in our scrap bag. And I'm going to glue these down with teeny tiny dots of glue. Not a lot, just a dot. A dab of glue will do. Rub a little bit and it sticks. Not a lot, just a dot. A dab of glue will do. Rub a little bit and it sticks. Not a lot, just a dot. A dab of glue will do. Rub a little bit and it sticks. Not a lot, just a dot. A dab of glue will do. Rub a little bit and it sticks. And now I'm going to find some eyes in my bag. Fortunately, I used all the big eyes on my line monsters, so I'm stuck with little eyes, which is fine because this is just a little tiny Shape-Gator. And so I'm going to even put a little tiny dot 1, tiny dot 2, super tiny dots. Rub a little bit and it sticks. Rub a little bit and it sticks. So everyone, we have made a Shape-Gator. We have learned how to make squares, how to make circles. And while we were making circles, we learned about pentagon, hexagon, heptagon, and octagon when we were making our circles. We learned how to fold a paper to turn rectangles into smaller rectangles and how to fold the paper to make triangles. These long triangles actually have a name in math. They're called isosceles triangles. And these triangles we cut out of the rectangles are actually called right triangles. But you don't need to know that till like 3rd grade or something. But anyway, it's good to already know some stuff before you get there. Anyway, everyone, let me switch my camera. So that was the end of lesson 2. So we have been making some great art, and I hope to see some of your pictures of your Shape-Gators. All right, talk to you later. Bye. We'll see you later in the next video.